Romans 12 is one of those chapters that just speaks straight to your heart. It's packed with practical wisdom about how we're called to live as followers of Jesus, and honestly, it's the kind of advice that changes everything when we really take it to heart. Right at the start, Paul gives us this big challenge. Offer your bodies as a living sacrifice, holy and pleasing to God. This is your true and proper worship. Now, that might sound intense, but think of it this way. It's about living every part of your life, your work, your relationships, even your quiet moments, as an act of worship. It's about saying, God, I trust you with all of me. Then Paul says, don't conform to the pattern of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. That's such a big one, isn't it? The world is constantly telling us how to think, what to value, and how to live. But Paul is saying, hey, there's a better way. It starts with letting God reshape our minds, so we can see things the way He does. Maybe that looks like letting go of comparison when you're scrolling through social media, or choosing kindness when it would be easier to snap back at someone. It's those little daily choices that add up to a transformed life. Paul then shifts to humility, saying, do not think of yourself more highly than you ought. Ouch, right? But it's true. None of us are better than anyone else. We're all part of the same body, each with unique gifts and roles. Imagine how freeing that is. You don't have to be perfect at everything. You don't have to compete or compare because God's given you specific gifts to use for His purposes. Maybe you're amazing at encouraging others, or you've got a knack for organizing chaos, or you're someone who just shows up with a listening ear. Those gifts matter, and when we work together, incredible things happen. The chapter also talks about love. Love must be sincere. Hate what is evil. Cling to what is good. Sincere love. It's not about fake smiles or saying the right thing while your heart isn't in it. It's about being real with people, loving them even when it's messy or inconvenient. And then there's this gem. Be devoted to one another in love. Honor one another above yourselves. In a world where everyone's shouting for attention, imagine the impact of honoring others, lifting them up instead of tearing them down. Paul keeps going with these rapid-fire pieces of advice. Be joyful in hope, patient in affliction, faithful in prayer. Life isn't always easy, but these are the anchors we hold on to. Joy and hope, patience when things are tough, and that constant connection with God through prayer. And then there's this one. Share with the Lord's people who are in need. Practice hospitality. It's a reminder to live generously, to open our hearts and our homes, even when it's inconvenient. Maybe that looks like inviting a lonely neighbor over for coffee or giving your time to help someone who's struggling. Then there's this part that always hits me. Do not repay anyone evil for evil. Be careful to do what is right in the eyes of everyone. It's not about being a people pleaser, but about living with such integrity that even those who disagree with you can't deny your goodness. And here's the kicker. If it is possible, as far as it depends on you, live at peace with everyone. That doesn't mean we avoid hard conversations or let people walk all over us, but it does mean we're peacemakers. We're the ones who show patience and grace, who choose to forgive even when it's hard.